If you're just getting started on a GLP-1, it can be overwhelming. All of the information and marketing out there telling you a long list of supplements and protein products and over-the-counter medications that you need to have before you get started. And while it's great to be prepared, I've found that a lot of these products are not necessary and just end up costing you money and end up sitting on a shelf. Hi everyone, my name is Tamara, and if you're new to my channel, I am on a journey to lose 100 pounds with the help of a GLP-1, in my case, Zepbound. And in this video, I wanted to go over some of the things that I've found really important in my journey so far. I've been on Zepbound for 7 months now. Some of the things that I found really important to have on hand, or wish I had on hand and did not at the beginning. And then some of the things that were recommended that I purchased and ended up never really using. And then products that I've seen marketed quite a bit that I have never purchased or used or found necessary. I would love to have you subscribe and follow along on my journey and share your experiences as well, and to develop a supportive community. And before we get started, please keep in mind that I am not a doctor, and you should always consult your doctor or healthcare provider before starting anything new. Let's get started with the first thing that I wish I had on hand when I started Zepbound, and that was after my second injection. I got pretty bad side effects after I ate something I shouldn't have. And if you missed my first video, I kind of recounted that experience. I can link it here. But I ended up getting pretty bad diarrhea and sulfur burps after I ate a piece of pizza and like a handful or two of almond M&Ms after my second injection. And I almost didn't make a flight that I had, and I really wished I had the Pepto chewables on hand, because those ended up helping me a lot. And I've ended up using these multiple times throughout my journey, just sometimes after an injection, with my stomach being maybe a little upset a day or two afterwards, which is not uncommon, or when titrating up. The first time I attempted to titrate up to 5 milligrams, I had some pretty bad side effects after my third injection. So the Pepto chewables have been something that I always keep on hand. I was purchasing those at Costco, and then my Costco stopped carrying them. So this small little bottle I ordered as a set of 2 on Amazon. And these have also helped with the sulfur burps and, of course, diarrhea, and they've even helped with acid reflux. And I am someone who has suffered from reflux for years, and so I'm also on a prescription medication from my doctor for that. But that's a pretty common side effect as well, and these help with that also. And then the second thing I ended up getting shortly into my journey was these ginger chews that I ordered off of Amazon as well. And these helped if I just had a little bit of nausea, which I haven't struggled too much with nausea throughout the journey so far. But if I had mild nausea at all, I'd just chew on 1 or 2 of these, and that helped. Another thing I've had on hand since the beginning are my electrolytes. I use the Ultima electrolytes, and I've shown these in a previous video, and I add it to my old Nalgene bottle. I use about 1.5 scoops for 32 ounces of water. And I try to drink at least 2 bottles of water daily, ideally more. I think closer to 100 ounces is what they recommend, but I try to get at least 65 ounces, usually around 80 ounces of water a day. So that's another very important component to keep in mind, is staying really well hydrated. That's gonna help with digestive issues like constipation, keep kind of everything moving, and keep yourself hydrated throughout this whole process. And then another thing that's really important is getting enough protein in. And so I don't use many protein products. I've actually found that my stomach is pretty sensitive to a lot of the popular protein drinks that have like 30 or 40 grams of protein. I get really bad stomach cramps. I tried a Premier protein drink, and my stomach was not happy. So I ended up giving the rest of that box of drinks to a coworker of mine. Those do not work for me. And the only thing I've really found in terms of a protein product that works well for me are the Built Puff Bars, and I get these at Costco as well. So these I'll have as a snack during the day. They have 17 grams of protein and are kind of a nice sweet treat also. You want to try to get ideally around 100 grams of protein, and I usually get around 120 to 130 grams of protein each day. And so that's going to help with retaining muscle throughout the process of losing weight. and also just helps to keep you full. And finally, getting a good amount of fiber in each day has been really important. And I've done this by substituting the Mission tortillas for my bread and my lunches. So I have a wrap instead of a sandwich, and that gets me 18 grams of fiber. But beyond that, I eat avocados pretty much every day and berries in my breakfast every morning. And then I usually have some sort of vegetable through the day as well. And so I don't really use any fiber supplements or any fiber gummies or anything like that. And you'll see a trend here of like, I try to get a lot of these things just in my normal diet. So moving on to what I don't spend money on, and I've touched on these already a bit here, but protein products like the protein powders that people add to their coffees or different smoothies that they're making, I've just found that a lot of these are not compatible with my stomach. And that could be different for everyone. And definitely if it works for you and it's something that you enjoy, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that for me, I have found that they're not necessary and have even hurt my stomach. And I know also protein is kind of like the new trend and the new thing that's being marketed pretty heavily. Even Starbucks and Dutch Bros Coffee offer the high protein coffee drinks now. And I did try one at Dutch Bros and I thought it was good. My stomach was fine, so that was great. But it was like almost $8. So that's just something that I maybe like once a month would get as a treat, but it's not something that I'm gonna make a habit of. If that's something that you enjoy, totally go for it, but it's not something that I get regularly. Some of the other products that I've seen marketed that I have not purchased are the supplements like creatine or collagen. I'm sure all of these things can be really helpful. Multivitamins as well. I don't take a multivitamin. I don't take any supplements basically. And so I don't think that they are necessary, but obviously talk to your doctor. And if you have a deficiency, vitamin D or anything that's showing up in your blood work or that your doctor believes that you could benefit from, definitely follow their advice. But there's just a lot of marketing out there right now. Once again, they're not things that I've found necessary and I haven't even purchased or used in my journey so far. Things that I have purchased that I have not ended up using much include over-the-counter medications for constipation. I have actually not had any issues with constipation over the 7 months being on Zepbound, which is great. And I think that a lot of these things you can put off purchasing until you see if you actually have that as a side effect. So in my case, I have not, and I did have a couple of things on hand. I had Miralax, and I had magnesium breakthrough, which can help with sleep also. And I know some people struggle with insomnia on a GLP-1. So that's something that you could also purchase if you find that you are struggling with insomnia. You could get magnesium breakthrough. It does help a lot and it helps to keep you regular as well. It's just something that I was using to start, and then I have found that I haven't used it in months. So it's also pretty pricey. And so I think just hold off on some of these things and see if it's a side effect that you're developing and then get something to help you with that. I hope this video was helpful for those of you who are just starting your journeys, just to know that everything that's being thrown at you in marketing and in the stores, the aisles in the stores are just filled with the protein products and the supplements and all the options and all the things. And I hope that it's helpful to you to know that as someone who has been on this for 7 months now, there's just a handful of things that are really necessary and I think are important to have on hand to begin with. Pepto chewables, that's the takeaway message, as well as fiber, water, and protein. Those are the things. And then anything beyond that, talk with your doctor, wait and see what side effects you might develop along the way, and then you can purchase those things to help if needed and with the advice and guidance of your doctor. I'll see you in just a couple of days for my next weekly weigh-in, and in the meantime, let's keep moving forward together. Take care, friends.